So I work for the public health state of Louisiana, and I got put in charge of it was the methylparathion program. And what had happened is there was a guy who would travel from New Orleans to Chicago on a yearly basis, and he would spray methylparathion for pest control. Now, methylparathion was a cotton boll weevil outdoor pesticide. Right. Very effective, okay? Outdoors. Extremely effective indoors. Matter of fact, so effective it would kill rats or anything else. But also dangerous to humans, right? All right. So not approved for indoor use. So what happened is they actually had a child die of methylparathion poisoning. Wow. Went to the hospital, autopsy, and realized they had this very high methylparathion level. And he wasn't a farmer's kid. He was one of the workers' kids. And what was going on? So they investigated, and they found out through taking a detailed history that their house had been sprayed, or the apartment complex was sprayed by a bug man. And who's this bug man? Well, he's a guy comes through once a year. The landlord hires him, comes in and he sprays. What's he spraying? Well, I don't know what he's spraying. Well, they happened to track this guy down. And he kept a very detailed log, actually, of what he was doing.
Well, that's convenient.
Very convenient. And so what happened was the EPA got involved because it was an outdoor pesticide being used indoors that was approved by the EPA for outdoors. So what they did is they discovered this house, and then they completely renovated the entire house. Renovated the entire apartment complex. And they started up a program where they started investigating this guy's logbook. We would go in and we would swipe the baseboards, and they would sample at what level it was at. If it met a certain criteria, the entire place got renovated. All right.
On whose dime?
The federal government, EPA. So quickly, think about this. If your neighbor's house is getting renovated with no penalties for free, what's the next step for you?
You're going to figure out a way to get your house renovated. Right. So then people have got to be buying this stuff and spraying it in their house.
So that's exactly.
I can see where this. I can see where this is going.
What happened? So actually, I don't remember the Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Actually came down and did an episode, and because they would send guys in full spacesuits, right, to renovate, strip it out, and then bring everything else in new. And they had a crowd outside, and they were interviewing this guy, and they're like, what's going on? He's like, well, they sprayed some kind of bug spray. And they're like, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to spray your house? And he started laughing. He's like, hell yeah. So anyway, it became this. They were spending, admit it
on TV.
They were spending $2 million a day.
I don't doubt it.
In renovations.
Well, so were they also giving new furniture?
Everything.
Everything.
The entire house was gutted. Everything was renovated. So it ended up being, it went from reporting. It went from being just being reported to taking swab samples, to then taking blood levels to confirm for renovations. And then they just totally eliminated the program because it was getting out of control. Because people realized and they would actually give their kids this stuff, and make them, swab it and touch it so they could raise those levels. People were crazy. So, it was insane. So they went from, within a 2-year period, it went from this full blown out, by the end of it, $2 million a day was being spent. And I was running the Louisiana part. It was spread from Louisiana to up to Chicago, Illinois, and everywhere in between. So luckily, it kind of coincided with me getting into medical school. So I didn't lose my job; they just phased it out. So
you get phased out.
But yeah, it was Google. It's probably online. Methylparathion Louisiana Daily Show, and it'll come up. It'd be an old archived Daily Show thing, but it's pretty cool.
Man, to be the last person who's tried to get their house renovated and they shut the program down, and then you're stuck with the consequences.
Pretty crazy. Yeah, it was a. I was a younger kid. I was in my early 20s, but it was wild to see what was going on.